in, guys, to another episode of the TBT podcast. Tyler, Jason Dunn, good to have you back on the podcast. Will Shields, welcome into the podcast. Welcome in, everybody, to a great episode of the TBT podcast. It is our Christmas episode, so we got a lot of gifts for you. We just watched the Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs get it done, 27-19. We're going to go over, also, we're going to give you a head look to what's going to be happening on Christmas Day. Is Santa going to give the Chiefs a win, or is he going to give them a whole lot of coal going up against this Pittsburgh Steelers? But first, we're going to get into the Houston Texans. With me, as always, doing a phenomenal job, Zach, what is happening?
Hey, this W feels amazing. I honestly, when I tell you that I woke up and completely forgot that we played on Saturday, it was such a great feeling when I thought about the fact that we play in like 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't live yesterday as if it was Chiefs game day tomorrow. So It was just a great morning.
Right. Yeah, same with me. I knew we played on Saturday. And I always hate when the Chiefs don't play on Sunday because I just love having my Sundays. Go to church, after church. You know, you have a Chiefs game on, you're able to watch the Chiefs. So I always like the Chiefs play on Sunday, but I knew they played today. So I was like, I got up and I'm kind of like, oh wait, the Chiefs play. Like, I gotta get in the group. I gotta get my Dwayne Bowe jersey on. He banged the drum at Arrowhead today. I was like, I gotta get in the field today. I see you're wearing. I don't think that's Jamal Conner. That looks like Kareem Hunt.
It is Kareem Hunt, and
it is Kareem Hunt.
I remember I wore it after the incident. I continued to wear it. You know what I'm saying? Just because it was like the only Chiefs jersey I had, and the security guard at my school called me out in front of the gym class for wearing the jersey because this was probably like he got in trouble late 2018. This was probably like 2019 after we had gotten eliminated. And so I really haven't worn this jersey since then. I've had it since I was a freshman in high school, but I can finally bring it back out and it feels good. Yeah,
that's the thing. It's like a lot of people I saw burning them. I'm like, if I had a Kareem Hunt jersey, I'd probably put it in the back of my closet. And like you did. You just feel like, take care, little buddy. And you just sat him there, and all of a sudden he comes out. He's number 29 now, but so you got the number 27, which really matters when he was straight balling. He balled again today, which we're going to get into. He did. He balled today, which we're going to get into. But yeah, Chiefs play here on a Saturday. A little bit different, but kind of similar Chiefs game. But what did you think of the overall play from the Kansas City Chiefs today?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was very impressed with our defense. It looked more like the defenses of the last year and a half when it comes to DBs tackling, becoming aggressive, especially on the screen passes. And then there was a few drives there towards the middle of the game once they took that lead, 10-7 lead, where it looked like we were just giving up big play after big play. But towards the end of the game, we tightened back up when it came to that. And obviously at the beginning of the game, we were nails. And so I was really impressed by the defense, especially, Trent McDuffie. He balled. That's the thing. When him and Snead were together, both last year and 2 years ago, you knew that there was no short stuff because there might be a catch, but it's going to be a tackle for loss if you're thrown behind the line of scrimmage, and there's not going to be any missed tackles. I saw a graphic during the game that our missed tackle rate is 11.6 during the season, and at that point, when they showed the graphic, we had 0 missed tackles, which makes a world of difference when we kind of have below average coverage in our secondary right now.
Yeah.
And so, man, I just loved watching the defense get to tackling again.
Yeah, it's same with me because, like you said, they haven't done a great job through the air. They haven't. Our defensive backs have not done a great job through the air. But if you put it on the ground, there's no turning 5 yards into 10 or 11 yards versus the Chiefs. As we can see with our run, the run defense right now has been absolutely spectacular. Joe Mixon had like a quick little burst early in the game, but other than that, not much. They've done a really good job of limiting premier back. Like, if you beat us, you got to beat us with big plays.
Yep, we held Joe Mixon below his average for yards per carry. He only had 57 yards, and they loved to give their running. I mean, the Texans have one of the highest rushing rates in the league, and so if they're able to, they love to run the ball. But against us, teams don't even try to run the ball, even if that's their identity, because it's just 2 yard gain, 3 yard gain, and man, this D line and linebacking core, along with our corners, have been dominant on run plays.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's not this where you're having like the old Chiefs days was, and that's the thing about the Kansas City Chiefs is we're the team now that burns the clock. Teams can't really burn the clock versus us, but now we're the team that burns clocks. Like late in the fourth quarter, we burned like 6 minutes off the clock, so it was really a killer when we got the ball again, where we could just run that last 3 minutes off the clock and need the ball. I know some fantasy people may be mad if they have Kareem Hunt in their lineup or Patrick Mahomes in their lineup to pick up some first downs or maybe get a touchdown or field goal or whatever it may be. But the Kansas City Chiefs in this game, it was a team game. Like there was nothing that wowed me. Like I didn't sit there and go like, this was the game. Kind of like last year how our last 3 games, all of a sudden it was like boom, boom, boom. Right after that Raiders game, it was just boom, boom, boom. Their last 2 or 3 games, and then you go into the playoffs, you look very good. But this game was like they just found a lot of guys. The guys that stuck out to me, the first guy I want to shout out is Piran from OU, my guy. All of a sudden, I think he has the ability in the playoffs late in this season to be a Jerick McKinnon guy. All of a sudden, they're looking at this guy, they're looking at Kelsey. All of a sudden, boop. And remember for the Bengals, all of a sudden, I'm like, 3rd down, we're going to get to Burrow, and there goes Pirine to bust for like 25 yards. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, why do you have to do this to me? And so I think he has the ability to be that guy. But we're seeing a lot, and there was a big play on a screenplay. I don't know if you remember this, Zach. But they basically had Kelsey pop out. 2 guys came to Kelsey, and it looked like it was going right to Kelsey. And then they just had a nice little slant to James or to Worthy. I was about to say James Worthy, but Worthy, not James Worthy, but yeah, Worthy. That's huge. That is huge. So Worthy, I mean, let's talk a little more about him a little bit. How the other guys like Kelsey, he's still finding his production on 3rd down. Worthy has 8 touchdowns on the season.
Wow, that's a lot. That's more than I thought.
Yeah.
He's really found his role with us, man. We have him in the slot a lot. What's interesting about Worthy is you kind of associate speed with agility. You're like, oh, if a guy's fast, he also is fast side to side and is able to make quick movements like that. That's not Worthy. Okay. Worthy does not really move that fast side to side. I don't know if he's juked a guy all year. He kind of just gets as fast as he can, and hopefully his speed helps him break a tackle. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so it's kind of been interesting to watch him, but we're finally getting to the point where Mahomes trusts him. He's not making as many rookie mistakes, which he had a handful of rookie mistakes early in the year. A handful. Yes. And he's been his top target the last 4 or 5 weeks. And which is great because, I mean, especially with Hollywood Brown coming back, taking some of the stress off these other guys, Worthy really can be a top guy for us. It's great to watch, and 7 catches for 65 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, he's definitely looking like he was a good pick in the 1st round.
No, absolutely. Again, we saw the rookie mistakes. He's a great route runner. He really is. He's a good route runner. We've seen that. I can only imagine, because there are some of the little like rookie things you see is like he'll get going, he trips, or some of the drop passes. We haven't seen them as much lately. Ever since the Bills game, we have not seen that side of him. Mm-hmm. So having him back, or having him, I was about to say having him back, Hollywood Brown, but having him play like he's been playing, him and probably Diop, like he's probably outplayed almost Diop in some of his games. Diop just had these clutch catches, which I want to get into. Who the hell? I want to find all the people. This is rant, Jaden. I got to rant real quick. Who the hell said this man was washed? Well, this man, I always had my respect for Diop. He's only a good player, but now that he's on my team, this man catches everything. If the fire squad has a kid at the top of a building that the building's on fire, like the dude said, don't get Nelson Aguilar. Go get D-Hop. He'll catch them all.
I like Aguilar.
Not like I do.
Yeah,
He'll get D-Hop. He catches everything. I mean, some of these catches, I'm just like, I never, like, I was just like, yeah, D-Hop's good. But, oh my God, that catch with the toe tap, I'm
man,
like,
that's
D-Hop, why didn't you come to us 2 years ago? Well, why didn't he, man? Oh my God, we would have, man, the numbers Mahomes would have been putting up.
he is
But
so
let's talk about
incredibly
D-Hop a little bit.
composed. He is so
Yes.
composed. Like I've never seen a catch that was that slow. Like he catches it, his toes. He's like doing the Michael
And he's like
Jackson.
paused.
Yeah, he's
He's
on his toes
paused.
like Michael Jackson, and he's midair paused, and he falls down at like a mile per hour. I'm like, bro, that you've got to have just such elite, confidence in your own hands and confidence in your awareness of where you're at to do stuff like that. Like,
100%. It's just, and again, there's even times I feel like we could go to him more. But having him, and then now you get a guy like Hollywood Brown, who had a couple, not crazy, had a couple of catches, but he's got, it seems like he's freeing up guys like Worthy and guys like D Hop.
okay, this is his first game. He probably didn't even play a third of the snaps. He had the second most targets on the team. He had 8 targets out of
Mm-hmm.
41 pass attempts, or 41 targets at least. So that is a 20% target share in his first game back. He's going to be our number one guy. Okay. Worthy's looking great, but we know Hollywood Brown is more polished at pretty much everything. And,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 20% target share in his first game, it's going to be 25 when he's really up and going and playing all the snaps that he can.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like it's not just like some people. Again, the outsiders are gonna look at it like this: like, how many yards did he have, bro? Look, he only had this many yards. It's like
45
this is
yards
his,
on third downs.
yeah, this is his first game back. I'm not looking at it like for him to come out and be. I already know that. I'm like, that's gonna be huge when it comes to playoffs. That's gonna be. If he's already looking like he's a factor right away and he's not getting that many. He's not in the game a lot. He didn't play a lot, but he's getting in the game and he's making an impact. And again, it's gonna free other guys open. Free other guys open. So I'm like, this is gonna be big. I thought Kelsey again. He still just looks like he's on just like relax mode. But I thought he played a little bit better. He was big on third down. The real question is, I see a lot with the Chiefs Kingdom. Is Kareem Hunt our running back one right now?
He 100% is. Okay. It didn't look like when Pacheco first came back, we saw him have a couple big runs that we haven't seen. I think Pacheco in his first game had like 2 runs greater than any run Kareem has had all season. But listen, the fact of the matter is our offense can score points as long as we just stay on the field. As long as we convert third and short, fourth and short, that is our bread and butter. Okay? And that's our bread and butter when we have Kareem Hunt on the field. And so I just think for the sake of our offense, we are better when the big bruiser who doesn't lose yards is on the field. He also just has better vision. I mean, we saw him in his first 2 years of his career is better than Pacheco has been or will ever be. And some of the things that he had back then are still with him, like his vision, like his just knowledge of how to play the position. And so I'm a proponent for Kareem Hunt, but obviously having Pacheco, who last year there were conversations as he had top 10, 12 back, as a change of pace back, is perfect. And I think this is the best running back situation. Excuse me, I'm congested. Since we've had since Kareem Hunt was here. So
Yeah, I do think he should probably get the majority of the carries. Pacheco, he's still trying to find his groove. We'll see, like deep, if we make a deep playoff run or something like that, AFC Championship game, he's kind of able to get his footing back. Right now, I think it should be Kareem Hunt. The way Kareem Hunt has been playing, yeah, he's only going to maybe get you 4 or 3.5. But there's also times at third down. I don't know why he's not in there more. He should be the back that's in there on third down. The only thing that scares me is that is we're a third down type of team. We don't get first downs on first down. We don't get first downs on second downs much. It is penalties and the offensive line. The offensive line I thought was better today. Joe Tooney has looked good at the tackle position. There was times where Patrick Mahomes just got absolutely lit up. I'm like, damn, guys. But also times I feel like Patrick Mahomes' awareness this season, he's stepping into sacks. I know sometimes, obviously, we can't see the angles of what the quarterback sees. but I feel like sometimes he's stepping into sacks. He's not necessarily taking that out. And what he does, he usually finds guys. When he steps out and around the pocket, he usually finds guys. I know he had that 1-2 Worthy, I think it was, or maybe Wright, or maybe Brown, and he missed them.
Yeah,
But
Brian.
the offensive line looked a lot better today. The only thing was we saw Jawan Taylor go out in the fourth quarter,
Yeah.
and
He had a
Wanya Morris
sprained
had to
knee.
come in.
Yeah. I didn't
Sprained
notice
knee.
that during the game. During the game, I had no
I
clue
didn't
that
either. I
happened.
saw it after. I didn't either.
Yeah.
I did not do. So that means Wanya must have done a pretty good job in the fourth quarter if we didn't notice it. Because usually, if you're not noticing anything about your offensive line, you're doing pretty good. But Joe Tooney at left tackle was pretty good
Yeah. I mean, I really hope that we can maybe see Humphreys on Wednesday
again.
because it gets
Mm-hmm.
tough. If we lock up the 1 seed and then Humphreys is playing against Denver, but the rest of the starters aren't like Mahomes isn't, that gets weird because it's like, do we just roll with Tooney out there? Or do we roll with the guy that's only played a half of a game with Mahomes out there at left tackle to start the playoffs? That gets a little
Yeah.
tricky. And as far as Wanye coming in for Jawan Taylor, let's say Taylor is out, a week or two. I'm not really tripping about that because my problem is having both of them on the field. Having one of them, I really don't care who's on right tackle because Wanye gets beat more often, but Taylor leads the league in penalties, or he's close to leading the league in penalties. And so I'm not too worried about that, but I do hope that Humphreys can play on Christmas so we can get some more reps.
Yeah. Speaking of Christmas, the Chiefs get it done. A little pre-Christmas gift, 29-17 versus Houston Texans. But we're going to get into the Steelers game because if we do bring back Humphreys, he's got a tall task. He's got a tall task versus Watt and some of those guys on the Steelers defensive line. Uh, what is your thoughts of going into Christmas versus the Pittsburgh Steelers? They're playing right now versus the Ravens, trying to lock up their division. Um, but are you a little bit worried going into this Christmas Day game? Chiefs are a little beat up. Um, it looks like at times, and now you have this game. You have basically three games. We just got through this one. Guys got to ice up. Then you got a game on Wednesday. Then you got a game on Sunday. How do you deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, I mean, their pass rush is the best we'll go against because it's probably the best in the league. You have TJ Watt, who is the best sack getter in the NFL and has been for like 5 years now. Then you have Alex Highsmith, who's a beast. You have depth all over. You have Nick Herbig, who out of I believe Wisconsin a couple years ago, who's good. And so you just have guys. You have guys. But the thing is, we make every team look like they have a good pass rush. We made
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo look like they had a crazy pass rush. It's like we're used to playing under duress, and it's kind of like what more can the Steelers do that we aren't already facing? We're already facing pressure on half of the drawbacks. We're already getting sacked. A few weeks ago, it was like 5 times a game, and so I think we'll be able to fend off that deficiency and kind of go at their other deficiencies. They don't have the best linebacking core. They don't have the best skill position players on offense, and so I am worried about Mahomes' health. But as far as that making us lose, I think we'll find a way through that.
Yeah, I mean, again, they found ways to get to the quarterback. But the main thing is last week versus Eagles, they struggled on offense. They're missing their top wide receiver. His name is leaving me.
George
Um,
Pickens.
Thank you. I'm not going to say George Hopkins.
That would be
George
terrifying.
Pickens. That would be terrifying if George Hopkins
George Hopkins.
disease was out there roaming around or something. Um, but yeah, yes, Pickens. I don't think he's playing today. I did not
He's
double
not.
check.
He's
He's
not.
not playing today. That's what I thought. Okay, not playing today. What's been going on with him? If they don't have him, that's kind of that's like who's Russ has been
Yeah.
going to. Outside of that, I don't really know who else they're going to go to.
And I assume that if he's not playing today against their division rival, basically a game for the division, I don't think he's going to be playing against us in 4 days. Okay, because this game is much
They all have
better.
to play again on Sunday too.
Yeah, and so I don't think that this is we're going to be facing George Pickens unless he is just really close, and they didn't think it was worth it for this game though. And outside of that, I mean, they're kind of like we were last year. Just take care of the ball, and it'll all be all right. They're not the highest flying offense. They obviously don't have the skill position players, especially without Pickens. But Russ doesn't turn the ball over at all, and they run the ball a lot. And so, but I'm not really scared of a team like that because we're the Chiefs and we know how to win games against any type of team. So,
Right. I think the way they play fits in. Like if the Chiefs had a draw, like a good team, how they want them to play. Like they run a ball a lot. They kind of only have one guy, which the Chiefs like to double team, which we just saw on that double team. Trent McDuffie get that interception. Now he has his first interception last week. Now he's another one. So the Chiefs like to kind of double or shadow the number one receiver. They don't really have a go-to guy really outside of him. So the Chiefs want you to run the ball a lot. They want you to run the ball a lot. They kind of want you to play similar to how they played last year. Like you said, have a number one guy, kind of like how we did in Rice. They don't really have that Kelsey guy that you have to worry about, but they have a pretty good offensive line, and they have a good defense. That's kind of what the Chiefs were last year. We're going to run the ball, we're going to take care of the ball, and then we're just going to try to get it to our guys in big moments. The Chiefs will feed into that 100%. Steve Spagnuolo loves that. Obviously, you heard Patrick Mahomes after the game. He said, I'm going to heal up, ice up, and I'm going to watch some tape because we're going up against a good team and a good defense. So, there's no going out on a Saturday night right now for Patrick Mahomes. He's like, I got to go watch film. I got to go get ready for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's the type of focus and lock in the Chiefs know. They know what's in front of them. They're not, we are 14-1, whatever. We can kind of cruise as long as we win another game. Maybe the Bills lose another game. Doesn't really matter. No, they're ready to go. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, again, I don't really know who the Chiefs should really be watching out for George Pickens' play. If he plays, yes, he's a guy where, again, we haven't done the best job is through the air. And he's a guy that can go up and get that ball.
No, he is a beast. He's kind of like Hopkins. Hopkins obviously in his prime was better than Pickens is, but Pickens kind of, he's more athletic than Hopkins, and he has a similar play style where it's like, just throw the ball up. I'll find a way to catch it. Okay. And you could argue he's a better man-to-man route runner than Hopkins was. But obviously, Hopkins had seasons where he had 1,500 yards and was all-pro first team. So I'm not going to disrespect him too much. But, if he's not there, there's no dynamic part of their offense. And I'm watching, I actually have the game on right next to me. The Ravens just took a 14-7 lead. And it's going to be interesting to see how if this game plays out, how that'll affect the playoff seeding for our game. Because they'll have the same record if Baltimore beats Pittsburgh today. And so that would make this game even more, necessary for Pittsburgh to win because.
Yeah. I agree. This is the perfect time where you want one of the, in my opinion, in the last 10, 20, 15 years, there's been the biggest rivalry in the NFL. Yeah. And you have, these teams don't, it's not just a rivalry where it's like Bears-Packer. No, this is a, grudge match type rivalry every year where they beat up on each other. So this is a perfect game to kind of have some bruises coming into the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and to kind of wrap things up here, as we look onto the Steelers on Christmas Day, hopefully getting a giant present from Christmas. Real quick, what is your biggest present Santa's got you in Chiefs Kingdom-wise? It could be a game. It could be a player. It could be a moment.
Oh, my goodness.
A memory.
A memory. Okay. I don't know. The biggest, bro, we're spoiled. Okay. Because I'm going through a Rolodex of 80 different possible ones, and I'm sure other fan bases can just name, what I'm saying? The one Super Bowl they've been to since they were alive. My favorite football game of all time was last year's Super Bowl. It's last year's Super Bowl. I have watched that game more than I've watched any episode of TV, any other sports game. I've probably watched that game 8, 9 times.
I've watched it 1.5 times.
Oh, you should watch it again. It's good.
1.5 times. They always put it on NFL Network. I watched the second half of it once, and then I just watched it full time. I don't know. I just kind of like just soaking it in. I watched it. I was there. The Eagles one, I think I watched like twice, just because I don't know. I felt like that one was so like just we were back. There's so many doubters after Tyreek left, and that one was just like we haven't won one since 2019. So that one to me was so big. But that was not the biggest one I've had. Santa gave me. One of the biggest one was on Christmas Day. We're going pre Patrick Mahomes. It was the Chiefs in Denver on Christmas Day, and the Chiefs just I think it was 2016.
Was this the Peyton Manning year?
No, year after.
No, year after. Okay.
Year after. It was the second game of the Denver Broncos. The first one was the double doink up and in by Carlos Santos, and then the second one we played on Christmas. I remember Travis Kelce had a block. I want to say it was on Darby. Had a block on the corner where he just picked him up and threw him down. And I remember Spencer Ware went crazy. We had the pig six where you had Dontari Poe throw a touchdown in the end zone. The Chiefs scored like I think 40 points and just destroyed the Broncos. That was one of the bigger early on in the before the Patrick Mahomes days of the Chiefs getting that. That I would say that first Super Bowl, but definitely Denver Broncos 2016 versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Was that on Christmas Day?
Christmas Day, yeah.
That's why you asked. Okay. I just thought.
No. It does not have to be Christmas Day.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It does not have to be Christmas Day.
Okay.
But if you do have a Chiefs memory on Christmas Day, you can absolutely go for it. But it does not have to be Christmas Day.
One of the first games I ever watched was New Year's Day. I think we beat the Broncos like 9-6, and Kyle Orton was our quarterback.
Yes, that is right. We did beat them 9-6 on Christmas Day. If we would have won, if we would have won the next week versus the Raiders, we would have had a chance to go in the playoffs. But the Broncos went in 7-9 instead of us.
Yeah.
So
they went 9-8. Every other team was 8-8.
Yeah,
they were 8-8. Every other team
8-8. We were 7-9. Yeah. So if we would have beat the freaking Raiders the next week, we would have been in the playoffs. But freaking shout out Kyle Orton. That's it.
Hey, I'm okay with that because you know what was going to happen if we made the playoffs, bro. We saw it the year before.
We would have played the Steelers. So yeah.
Yeah, we would have gotten mollywopped.
Yeah, we would.
It was 3-3 against the Ravens the year before, bro.
10 on the Broncos. They won.
That was some crazy stuff, bro. That shouldn't
happen.
That
was a slant wide open. Shout out Tim Tebow. Shout out
hey, rest in peace, Demaryius.
Yeah, Demaryius Thomas. Yeah. But Zach, before we get out of here, what is your game prediction for the Steelers?
Ooh, Steelers. Okay, we're gonna score 24. This is in Pittsburgh. That's tough. We're gonna score 24. They're gonna score 22, and we're gonna win and clinch the 1 seed.
24-22. I like it. I'm going to go 27-24 Kansas City. Last second field goal by Harrison Butker to get it done. He kind of gets his groove back. I think he misses a big one early in the game, comes back, has a big one. The Chiefs get it done 27-24. Zach, anything you want to tell our viewers before Christmas?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, that's what
Happy New Year's.
Christmas.
Yep, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. A lot of people like to say happy holidays. I say Merry Christmas. It's Merry Christmas. Have a good morning, guys. Open your gifts. My mom makes quiche, a delicious quiche.
Oh, my mom does something similar, but it's not in a circle. It's in like a square.
Square, yeah. My mom does a square. She does a square. She eggs. Has the crust in there, sausage, a little bacon. I'm looking forward to that. Yep. And so we usually go to Disney Springs. We walk around Disney Springs. Supposed to be a little hot this year. I'm kind of disappointed, but yeah.
We go to Arrowhead Stadium and just look at it because that's what we do here in Kansas City.
Hey, that's better than Disney. Damn it, that's better than Disney. Zach, what are you looking forward to opening now? Before we get out of here.
I mean, I don't really, we're grown men now, so I don't really ask for much. I'd love some slippers though. I asked for some slippers. I just like wearing warm things in the wintertime. So
same. I think I asked for some Kobe's. And I was like, clothes. I did not know what to ask for this year. Over the years, I've always had the one thing I'm like, you know what? I want this. I asked for this. But usually it's as you get older, you're just like, damn, I don't even know what to ask for anymore.
Yeah, also,
Chiefs jerseys.
As you get older, you just kind of buy things you want throughout the year. And then when it gets to Christmas time, you're like, okay, I bought it.
Yeah, I don't know what to get. Now my big thing is getting stuff for other people and like
Yeah.
watching them being like, all right. So I usually give my dad a Chiefs jersey a year, so his collection has built up. I
Oh,
think
that's
last year I
cool.
got him Christian Okoye. The year before I got him Otis Taylor. So I get him all his OGs who he's watched growing up. This year, I think I'm gonna get him a Chris Jones. People
Oh, okay.
apparently stake him for Chris Jones in Kansas City and in Atlanta when we went to the game. They kept wishing him good luck on the game. But my
Ooh.
dad's much older and does not look like Chris Jones. He's a big black brother, a BBB. But we'll talk to you guys next time. We hope you guys have a Merry Christmas from the TPT podcast.